Hello YouTube. Troutfish Holland wanted an update on my blackberries, so let me do a quick update on that. I've got 4 rows of blackberries. If you saw my first blackberry video, it's been a good while ago, I just put them in the ground, called the Blackberry Tour. This is Blackberry Tour 2, I guess. On the far, well, starting at this end, I've got a thornless Ouachita, Q-U-A, Ouachita, and they're doing pretty well considering the drought we're in. I've got a drip irrigation on them, 1/2-inch line down to 1/4-inch line, and I've got a little shut-off here where I can turn on each individual row. They're 3 feet tall. Some of them have gotten to where I need to prune them. That's 5 feet tall, and I should have already pruned it. But what I'm waiting on, I'm getting some misters that I'm going to make a little misting system for propagation. And when I do prune these, I'm going to propagate the cuttings and try to get a bunch more plants started. Where I may plant some over here where it's kind of open. So anyway, if you don't know about blackberries, when they get up to about 3 feet tall, you need to cut the tip off, and that will encourage this lateral growth. I mean, I've got a lot of lateral growth on this one anyway, but I need to prune the tip of it off, and it will encourage these lateral growths, and also it'll help them stand upright a little bit better. These are upright canes. It's about the 3rd year that they really begin to stand straight up. I don't know whether it has something to do with the root system strengthening or just the fact that, well, I have no idea why. But anyway, that's what I've read, and I have seen that on some other blackberries that I have, that the 3rd year they really do start standing up a little straighter. But if you cut them off at about 3 feet tall, maybe 4, just cut the tip off, and just a very, that one's kind of broke off anyway. But just cut, what I'm going to do is cut them back about 3 or 4 inches, and that way I can propagate. That's a 3 or 4 inch cutting there that I can propagate. But if you'll cut them off at about 3 feet, they'll begin to do these side shoots off the main leader here, like that, and like that one there. And it gives you more blackberries. I know you hate to prune anything, I do too, but you start encouraging these side shoots, and that's going to be making more blackberries than just that one long leader, central leader there. So, but they're doing pretty well. I've lost a few. There was actually one right there. I planted them about 4 feet apart, 3 feet apart. So there was one right there, didn't make it. That one is not very big. That one is done real well. I had one there, it didn't make it. Best I could tell, I had about, looking over there, there's probably 3. There's a gap right there that would have about 3 in it. And as you can tell, some of them aren't very tall, some of them aren't very big, and then some of them have just really gone crazy. I assume, you know, when you get them, some of them have a root system that is pretty established, even though they're all bare root, but some of them have a much thicker root system. Some of them just barely do have a little twig down on the bottom, a couple little roots sticking out. And I would assume that the ones with the bigger root system gives it a better start, and therefore you get the bigger plants. I really don't know. Anyway, they're doing pretty good. He asked also about grass control, and some of y'all gonna hate me, but I use Roundup on occasion. I don't use it much, considering it's made by the same folks that brought you Agent Orange. But I do use it when I have to, and these I wanted to get these established, so about a month or so ago I did come in here and spray. Still got some grass in them. Still got some grass coming up here and there, and I may round them up one more time today, this year. But all of them have the drip irrigation. This central that you see nothing there, that's where I planted some hardy kiwi, and I planted about 10 of them, and after about 5 of them died, I just dug them up and put them back in pots, put them in the shade, trying to save them. I'm just going to propagate them for next year. So I don't know. This is my 4th time planting hardy kiwi, and they're supposed to love the heat, but this is not just heat. I believe this is hell on earth down here in Texas right now. I don't know why God would make it so hot in His country. This is His country. Anyway, but the blackberries are doing well. They like this one here. Gosh, it's gone crazy. And this, I was going to tell you the varieties. I need to definitely tip that one. See, I'll tip that one about 6 inches or so. If I was going to, if I wasn't going to save the cuttings, then I would just barely take the top of it off, and then that'll encourage the lateral growth. This is thornless one. This is a prime gem, J-I-M, prime gem. It's a primocane, which means it bears twice. It'll bear in the spring and again in the fall. These should start blooming in about maybe a month or so. I've got a few blackberries on these, but I really believe it's from the spring growth, because all of these had some berries on them, but not very many, because they're really not supposed to bear, right away. But the primocane type blackberries will bear twice a year, so you need to keep that in mind. I don't think they bear as heavy in the spring and or in the fall as the floricanes, the ones that just bear on last year's growth, as they would bear. But you get 2 crops a year, and if you like to maybe space your crops out and not have to do it all at one time, you may want to go with the primocane. And I plan on making some cuttings and propagating some of these primocanes. So the first row over there is an Arapaho, which is a floricane, spring bearer, and the next row is and the Arapaho is a thornless. The next row is a thorned blackberry. It is a prime Jan, J-A-N, and this is a prime gem. And then the next one over there is the Wachita, and that's a thornless. These, both the primocanes, and maybe all the primocanes, I'm not sure about that, are thorned blackberries. But if you wanted to put them, for maybe security reasons, put them on a fence row, then you've got a deterrent to somebody coming through your fence, as well as vegetation growing. That is one reason I'm going to propagate some, and maybe, very likely, maybe, put them up on my fence, and then hopefully get some water up there on the fence, because they're going to need it. But I'll probably plant them in the fall, and hopefully we'll get some winter rains. We didn't get it last year, but hopefully we will this time. But anyway, this is the blackberry. I've got them mulched real heavy with wood chips, very heavy, like a foot tall. Buried the plant almost, because I mulched them when they were real small, with the wood chips. That keeps out the grass. And I've got an armadillo coming through here now that is just killing me. You can see where he just comes in here and just digs in, and he's just tearing up my raised bed. Sat out there last night till I couldn't see anymore with my shotgun. Whew, I want to get him. I set a trap. He didn't go in it. He's been pretty wily so far. But anyway, blackberries. You ought to try some blackberries. Everybody I think loves blackberries. I don't know if we can raise raspberries down here. I may try a raspberry. I'm gonna do something else on this center row. Like I say, I was gonna put hardy kiwi. I'm gonna do something else. I may do an espalier type planting of some fruit trees, maybe espalier, E-S-P-E-L-I-A-R. It's a very beautiful way to plant smaller fruit trees, dwarf fruit trees, and just you can make a fence out of them. They're just beautiful. Anyway, I'm gonna do something here. I may do mulberries, may do, if I find out we can do raspberries down here, I may do a row of raspberries in the middle of this thing. Who knows? But I'm gonna put something here. And I've left them wide enough apart when they do start really getting big. Again, if you top them, they'll stand up pretty straight after about 3 years. The blackberries, if you buy some that say erect canes or very erect canes, those are the ones that are going to stand up the straightest for you, and you really won't have to worry about trellising too much. I tried trellising some that I had before, and they, they did okay. My trellising wasn't all that great, but it's really not necessary. Like I say, this one is kind of typical of what they'll do. They'll come up 3 feet tall, and that one's about 5 right now. About 4. And then they'll just kind of fall over, but it's really not that big a deal. And you can still come through here and mow and weed eat if you want to, or spray your Roundup or whatever you want to do. And again, they'll start standing up a little straighter after a few years. And I placed the rows, these rows are 12 feet apart, I think. You're supposed to go about 8. I've got a 6-foot brush hog and a big tractor, and I just want to make sure I get through here and not hurt anything. So anyway, blackberries, I'll show you if I do get the fall crop, and they do a fall crop. Now, will they do one the first year? I'm not sure. But if I do, then I'll sure show you, give you an update on that. Blackberries. Get you some. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned Trout Fish Holland. Just like it sounds, Trout Fish Holland. He's got a great channel. He's doing some grafting of fruit trees. You may want to go over there. We've corresponded a few times. Nice guy. Trout Fish Holland. Check out his channel. We're gone.